World Card Game Federation here with another local match. This is going to be me taking on my buddy James. A couple of things I got to go ahead and note right off the bat here. Me and James are using versions of these decks. Well, I mean, in the case of James at least, it's not a true Saiyan Oppressive deck. We just swapped out the masteries from his standard empowered build from Nappa. So just be aware you won't see a whole lot of build here taking advantage of the mastery. Also, you have to forgive us, we did goof up a couple of timing things early on. Okay, so I obviously win the roll here to go first. So it looks like I drew some good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and power up. I'm going to go ahead and pass, rejuvenate. All of the late webs, laser webs, all of a sudden I can't think of it. But anyway, it shuts off energy attacks on hit. So obviously that was not a good hand to go in. He gets King Vegeta out, which is really sweet. He should be at 4 above at this point. We quote Team 4 starting off a lot when we play. Okay, so he rejuvenated, and I tell you what, guys, I almost reflex that he should raise his anger. You know how it is. Okay, so it goes back over to me. I got time. I got a bunch of neat stuff in my hands. Basically, I can deny him a giant combat, just provided I can actually pour on the damage. So my Tien build is not very standard at all. I understand there's actually a fairly rigid framework when it comes to, you know, the better black perceptive Tien builds. A couple of reasons is I don't own a ton of the cards in question. You know, some of those needed to really pump this one up. I expanded my collection, pardon me, with a couple of cards by meaning about 300 cards. I bought about 300 rares online, and I bid on them and won them for like $10. It's really good. So I got a bunch of cards to help it out, but it's still not perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and declare combat, and we're just reading over the mastery because we don't have it there physically just yet. Like we said, this was back in early December, and we just hadn't done that yet. Let's see. So he's going to enter combat. He's going to go ahead and do his. Oh, he should have done it. Darn it! He could have activated the draw and discard hand filtering part of Saiyan Oppressive. Okay, I open up with so I open up with Tien's power. I banish Defiant Challenge, which is one of those cards we were talking about. What do I not own enough of at this point? It would be Defiant Challenge, other similar cards. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve my power. I'm going to grab Tien's Prep, a pretty sweet card to grab here. Workhorsing it up on those early levels. Okay, I got to just beware James's power here. Okay, looks like I'm actually going to go ahead and reconsider that. I'm going to go with Tien's Tri-Beam.
Because I can't stage lock you with it.
Oh yes, James is just reminding how it's very difficult to stage lock Tien because some of his biggest moves, most repeated moves, don't require power stages. They require life cards to shoot.
So instead, I'm just going to try to, find a way out.
Okay, so James is going to go for outright damage, basically trying to kill me as opposed to letting me get away with it. So my first action was, of course, to use up my Tien power. He throws... I can't think of the name of that Saiyan card. I hate to say it. I'm just used to seeing it. I just memorize it. It's a 5-stage, flat stage physical that lets him pull out a Saiyan ally. In this case, he grabs Vegeta, and King Vegeta are out.
5, 6.
With bonuses in play, I could have wrecked me. Okay, don't panic here, guys. I know I'm supposed to skip my action here.
It's okay. Just
so I sure hope I remember to do so. Oh, I'm going to feel real dumb if I don't remember to skip my action right here.
He got mad at me because I hit him for 28 stages.
Oh, we're talking about a prior game. You guys probably remember when I got utterly obliterated.
It's okay, because after this I'm playing pro.
I got hit so hard, it was unsavory.
I know, that's the real travesty of it all.
Oh, sorry guys. Sometimes we gab a little bit during these matches. Some guys walked over who were playing a different game, playing Magic a little bit, and came over and asked me, why did I bring food? Now it goes when you bring... You guys probably have the same thing at your locals. Okay, so my apologies, guys. James did forget to raise his anger, and I did forget to skip my action. My apologies. It was our first combat ever with this particular mastery, so it goes back over to me, and I do shoot him with Black Energy Web. That's what I'm thinking of. And I blast him pretty hard with it. His energy is off for the major combat, but it's Nappa, so there's no energies to turn off. Okay, he throws Nappa's Energized Strike. He does want to throw Nappa's Energize Strike for one reason. Remember, it would make me, if I should somehow level during this combat, I fire another Energy Web. It would keep me from getting any stages, so potentially get him out of a bad spot. So it's hardly a bad move. I blasted him terribly. So things would have more or less played out the same way because of time, so the mastery didn't matter a whole lot. The only thing is he should have a... okay, so I did crit him, I killed Vegeta. Gosh, what the heck game have I been playing? I discarded Vegeta. Oh, I was just saying as far as that goes, so it wouldn't have changed this a whole lot. James could have thrown maybe another move, would have one anger, but then again, as soon as I throw Tien's Tribeam, it's not going to matter. So I destroy the top two, raise my anger one level, lower his anger one level. So I realized we made a significant goof with that particular card, but at least, we, like we said, a lot of things kind of was just playing out exactly the same anyway. So I do hit him with my power. Oh, we're doing that. Almost did that wrong. So we destroy the top two.
Oh no, I destroyed the two of mine.
Sorry guys, this is what happens when you don't play Tien for a couple of months.
And then you destroy the top two, and then you do 4 life cards.
Okay, so it's going to be then 4 life cards, and he takes all of it. Dang! He gets his endurance at the end of the card, where the end of the stack of damage, where those things like to hide. Okay, and then it's going to.
This one says, if this card is destroyed from your life deck, but when your card affects you using critical damage effect, I'll kill King.
Wow, so I do get a shoulder slams effect for being destroyed.
Sadly, it's a chance prep.
Then I fire it off again because you remember, of course, Tri-Beam's hit skip. He destroys the top 2, then takes 4 life cards of damage. And he runs into plenty of endurance, so ultimately does not take a whole heck of a lot there. So Tien's Tri-Beam successful.
I was going to say it makes you skip, don't it?
Yep.
I probably should activate the Mastery to see what I can get out of it. So apparently, even though I made him skip the second time...
So top card is style. So you lose 2 stages, and I rejuvenate the bottom card in my discard.
Okay, so you use the Mastery power to go ahead and do the loot, make me lose 2 stages, and then rejuvenate a card, so not a bad idea. Okay, he throws a Wall Breaker on me, which is going to keep me on level 1 for a little bit, if I remember correctly. Okay, and the combat ends. He's going to go ahead and resolve Outrage's effect. So he's going to go ahead and get his his attach card.
Pass, because you're time.
Okay, wait a minute. The Outrage, when he used it, I might have been stronger. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't keep close enough track. He's got Saiyan pregame out, dangerous as could be, and Visiting the Past comes into play. He's left over in his hand from that combat. 1 dead card. So he has the opportunity to pass. I'm not sure what he's holding on to. So Saiyan pregame is pretty sweet when combined with the Mastery. Going to lose some stuff here, no matter what. I'm not going to get that first move. And thankfully, all those skipping actions don't stack. Okay, so he ends his turn, he rejuvenates, goes back over to me. I only got 3 power stages, so I don't have a whole heck of a lot of power stages to be able to do anything. Looks like I'm carrying a couple of interesting cards. I think this one I would realize after playing with it 1 game. I realized that this particular black card, I want to say it's out of set 8, was not a good choice at all. Okay, so I put Face Off into play. There's a part of the problem is, if I remember correctly, it turns off one of my capabilities because it's a when entering effect. All of a sudden, I cannot think of what it does, but I remember I kept finding a way not to use it.
Hardest choice I've made in a while. I'll pass, rejuvenate Black Resistance.
Okay, Black Resistance gets rejuvenated because, of course, it's high. Its high endurance is going to come in handy later, and that is the end of that particular turn. It goes back over to James. James looks like he's got plenty of offensive material. He does have, of course, his Saiyan pregame. He's got plenty of stuff to do if he wants to do it. Geez, Saiyan pregame, I just realized that's an entering combat skip. It's not the Mastery. So he actually would get 2 skips.
I did. I threw that. You're supposed to skip an action after that. What? I didn't know. It's not
Oh, we're just catching it now, by the way, about that combat where that very first opening Saiyan style move was supposed to force me to skip. And that is where us catching up. Sorry, folks. Like we said, you guys probably noticed that in the end, with time and Tien's Tri-Beam, ultimately didn't end up mattering in that first combat, but still, we'd like to be following the rules. Whoa, James is confident enough.
I think I'm going to actually do it.
Okay, he's going to activate the Mastery, draw a card, discard a card. He's got a physical block he's not going to need. And he does. He drops shoulder catch or arm catch. And then it's going to go over to me.
That's okay. I can still do that too. And I'm just like, eh.
So we chose not to activate face-off or pregame, so I don't blame you. Looks like I drew a not good hand. I probably got a bunch of energy blocks and some scout maneuvers where you guys can kind of tell I don't play black all that much with the way I handle it. Okay, it goes back. Let's see.
Yep, whenever you skip an angle.
Oh, and he. Oh my gosh. So he's going to go ahead and put clinch on, which ain't a bad idea at all. Okay, and like I said, it'll force me to skip. We're finally remembering to incorporate that, so that's happening. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it with that set 8 card that stops physical or energy depending on what order. That is banish after use. Skips. James raises anger from the mastery skip effect. Oh, yeah, we're just realizing it was slightly off camera. Alright, so James got himself a couple. I got a free action here. He can keep walloping me if he wants. He's got Nappa's KO power. He has a few allies, but it's not undoable. Not sure what he's holding there. Okay, so he's got the Saiyan style physical attack, which becomes a 10-stage physical. He's going to go and be able to target his discard pile, pull out Vegeta to get the multiplier. Yeah, I did finally get to see in writing that you add up all your modifiers first, then double it. So I take the stages. I'm knocked well below 0. I was not wrong about taking taking a beating here. I got crit pretty solidly. And my anger's gone. Okay, and it's back over to me.
There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of really good stuff in there that I wish you didn't get rid of.
James is talking about his discard pile. See, I got my dual scout maneuver, so I'm just trying my darndest to think of a card that isn't in his discard pile, that where I can get like a whole set of something. And here's the problem, guys. I don't remember a lot of the names of set 8's cards, and I also don't remember. I'm sorry. Everything I looked at, I'm not even kidding. Everything I looked at in terms of his discard pile and banish zone, it was only 1 or 2 of each of any given card. So all that means is there was hardly any, untapped or any 3 cards I can name with it to make it work. So it is frustrating in a way.
I guess I'll go in Black Scout Maneuver time.
Time is in there.
Okay, I'm going to go and use Black Scout Maneuver.
And it is you searcher, right? Oh, no.
How do you like dem apples? Yeah, I think we mixed that up with Black Scout Maneuver, Black Searching Technique, with the whole business of who does the searching. So in this case, there is going to go Time's Warriors Tool is going to leave the game because, of course, really get tired of seeing that one get cycled out. I'm one to talk. I've already used it in the first combat of this game. Okay, so I resolved the effect of my Black Scout Maneuver. So we should be okay there. And then it's going to go back over to James. He's going to go and finish the shuffling, of course.
Wait, is that raising my anger with... No.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
You were at like 3 because you played it. You played your preparation, and then you played the last.
Oh, that's right. We're just trying to remember how exactly. I still have 2 anger at this point. We just remember I was at 3 when I got Wall Breaker. That's why I don't have anything any higher of transform yet.
You for 10 stages with Nappa.
Yeah, he's gonna throw Nappa's big old hit on me, and it's gonna hurt. Apparently, I'm encountering very little in the way of endurance.
Not really, because I love looking at his faces.
Okay, take a little bit of time to get it all up. That's a lot of endurance to have not, just to have taken all those mean hits. Whew. And this is where it happens, you guys. This is where you got an ally in play, you got the clinch on, and you're just watching the damage pile up. He quickly caught up. So I do have the opportunity to action. I Tien Power, banish the top card of my life deck. Unfortunately, it's a very good card to banish. It's one that lets me, when destroyed, lets me draw. Now it's gone. Okay, it goes back over to Tien's Prep. See, that's kind of silly of me. It won't do enough. I'm not really sure what the plan is here or why I'm doing that. So Tien's Prep might not have been a good idea. Tri-Beam would have been better. A little self-destructive against me, but at least I got 2 shots of it.
That the first time we played it, it didn't say anything. I was like, wait, don't I have to destroy the top 2 off of my deck too?
Okay, so let's see. It looks like it's back to James's action.
Because it makes us even not to skip.
Don't really want to do that.
Ooh, no.
Oh, is that the promo?
Oh, yeah, promo Skull Jab. I remember, I don't think I ever got to see it. I want to say it showed up in booster packs at a Target, but I could be wrong.
So what's it all together?
Okay, he's going to go ahead and shuffle an event card. Or play rejuvenate one. Or I take the hit, all life cards. I run into a little bit of endurance. I'm going to hold on to Tien's solar flare apparently for whatever silly reason I decided to. Just checking again out of those zones. You remember, like we said, because you guys remember, I can potentially gut out 3 cards out of his deck, almost like an attack you can't block is a way to think of the Black Scout maneuvers. Yeah, just provided you think of the right thing. And that's the problem. I spend an inordinate amount of time going over the discard pile, just realizing it has exactly 1 of each card, you know, that's in his deck. So you're like, okay, that means that variety-wise, a lot of what's in here means that I can only ever target 2 at most.
I'll name Skull Jab.
Okay, so I have Black Scout maneuver, Skull Jab.
Yeah, say Skull Jab.
Well, there's one. There's one in the attack.
Oh, so 2 is in his discard pile, 1 in his deck, and the promo is going to get banished. So all in all, guys, not knowing my opponent's deck and not having the black state of mind, so to speak, I didn't know what to target in this build, even though I'm fairly familiar with fighting the Nappa.
I am going to.
Not good.
I think that was a very successful combat, in my opinion.
Oh, I looked. I got smacked. That's what you're asking. Let's see. So
I mean, you only milled 2 cards out of my deck.
I'm going to go ahead and master. Destroy the top.
No, let's destroy the top.
So I'm going to go ahead and activate the Mastery. You guys remember it destroys the tops of each deck. And then we actually have to count, or rather check for the type.
Then I was going to say physical combat gets me physical energy combat, gain 4 stages.
You needed it.
Okay, Mastery.
Go ahead and Tien's Prep. Goes me first. Says,
Well, I mean, I passed, but I'll
Okay, so I skipped James' turn there for you guys who didn't know. I'm going to go ahead and, remember this card when destroyed from the top of my life deck, I rejuvenate it and the bottom card of my discard pile. So it worked really well on Tien's Prep.
I don't raise my anger.
So I lower his anger 2 levels, and you know, with Tien's Prep, and then I will not raise mine. I'll rejuvenate Tien's Prep because when rejuvenated, I get to draw a card.
You know what?
It'd be nice.
Something better came along. I'm going to Mastery.
Ooh, James is going to go ahead and cost me 2 of my itty bitty stages, rejuvenate the bottom card's discard pile with his Mastery ability. It does come in handy.
Something better comes along.
We still want to pair the new Mastery Oppressive with the, what was it called? Stage Drain Nappa. See how life is like?
I'll pass 2.
Okay, we ended up passing and passing. I had a dead energy card in my hand, so that was great. Goes back over to me with a whole 2 power stages in my hand. Looks like I got some good stuff with which to shoot back. At least the potential exists there for it. So Face Off, unfortunately, is going to turn off.
Because it's not. It would have been a great thing to use.
It turns off certain activities or certain actions I can make during combat, so that's not fun. A little backfiring there. Nobody pay too much attention as to why James has 11 power stages on Nappa. Just don't even think about it.
I have 3 when entering.
Okay, I power up my 2 power stages. Apparently I have no non-combat cards, which is an old term you're only going to hear out of me when I'm tired. I start talking about Score Z, non-combat cards.
I have an event in my hand, and
Because back in the olden days, technically drills and setups were different things, but in terms of their verbal designations, they were the same thing.
Okay, then it goes to me. All visiting.
Okay, I did use Face Off. I don't get to raise my anger, sadly. I'm not really sure what the other ability was on Face Off. Like I said, that card got dropped right out of his deck as it happened. Okay, James is going to go ahead and... Right, he's going to go ahead and activate pregame. I get to go ahead and skip my action. It's like Android 13's level 3 power in a can. The same pregame. Okay, and then of course the 3-stage game gets to go with whomever he wants. He's going to push that onto his ally Vegeta. He's going to go ahead and draw his cards. He did use, of course, Visiting the Past. Okay, I open up with Tien's power. Unfortunately, throw away a defensive burst. So I'm going to go ahead and search. Yeah, James had no blocks and was just going to take that hit to the face.
Oh, I don't get no action.
Okay, here I am trying to do Tien's prep. Oops. Yeah, goofed it up again, guys. I forgot I was supposed to skip after that. Ugh.
That's alright.
Now, is that a win entering? That's not a win entering.
No, that's just continuous.
Okay, and we're reminding each other about how the mastery works. Now we said like anytime your opponent's made to skip, it causes the opponent. Excuse me, he gets to get 2 stages or raises anger, which is all pretty good.
So yeah, I get no action. You get the shut my mouth.
So James has himself quite a few different ways to deal with this. Okay. Oh heck, you know the Saiyan card. Oh. It's going to go ahead and force me to skip when he throws it.
So it's just going to be 6
Oof.
times 2.
12 power stages, folks.
Okay,
Okay, I'll throw a black competitive, lower impediment, excuse me, lower his anger 1 level.
That gains you skip.
And then you can raise your anger or get 2 stages. Because I did just skip.
Yep.
So you got 1 anger after.
I mean,
Yeah, James is going to go ahead and choose to raise his anger with the mastery's skip effect after all.
I'll use my power.
Okay.
So it's style. You lose 2 stages. And
He uses mastery power to rejuvenate the bottom, make me lose 2 power stages, do all that fun stuff. Okay, it's back to me. I have an action. I'm going to go and throw it. And there it was. Apparently I had one in my hand. Black defensive burst. Hit it with 4 life, and that is crazy go nuts.
All my attacks being hits, destroy, set up, or drill. Do you have anything else?
Oh yeah, we got to remember that everything becomes a setup and drill destroying machine with Black Perceptive.
Cannot perform physical attacks.
So he cannot perform
I'm
them.
not out of this yet.
Okay, he does go ahead and put good old Saiyan Rescue on and does his initial rejuvenate with the attach. It goes back over to me. I said, okay, now activate Tien's power. Now banish the black defensive burst on the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and search for a styled card, not styled, excuse me, a name card. Let's see what happens.
We have been fighting for some time.
Yes, we have. I think the funny thing is I'm just rejuvenating it all.
It's an interesting thing. Like we said, paired with the rejuvenated stage drain Nappa from the ages back, it is a really interesting thing.
Yeah, the level 2 that just stage drains. Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to resolve, he's going to cut my deck after resolving the search. Okay, still got a floating effect here from good old defensive burst. And James is going to go ahead and activate the targeted ability of Saiyan Rescue. Going to choose a card instead of it just being the bottom card.
I mean, I can rejuvenate that to a critical one.
Precious thing.
Precious thing.
Okay, just waiting for James to resolve here.
We'll get the overhead thing back. Here you go.
So rejuvenates. It goes back over to me. I've already used my 10 power.
Must destroy the top 2 teams.
Yeah, destroy the top 2. Ooh!
Destroy the top 2 of mine.
So then it says, if this card is destroyed for your
Okay, you guys know this energy block, and when it's destroyed, I get to draw a card. So I'm pushing myself into an early grave. It's happening.
Yeah, it would be 4 life cards if it hits.
Okay, so I get to lower his anger 2 levels, or 1 level. I don't gain any anger.
Isn't that a continuous? Don't you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, the mastery's continuous effect with the stages, excuse me, the anger for the skip. That block would force me to skip. He's going to raise his anger. So James gets to throw a card. Oh, I know he doesn't. He gets to do nothing. He ends up passing. Okay, you get to use black shoulder charge. Black protection? Place it at the top of my life deck. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for James and his deck. See what I can put on top and basically tease him with it and destroy it immediately. So that ought to be kind of interesting. Okay, this... Okay, and then go ahead and put a Saiyan Rage on top of his life deck.
Just because he's got him.
This one says hit, choose a card in your discard pile, rejuvenate it. Oh, if there's a 10. There's a 10!
Woo! Okay, I'm hit for Shoulder Slam. I get to go ahead and rejuvenate a card and rejuvenate it. I rejuvenate Tien's Prep as in my discard pile. When it's rejuvenated, I get to draw a card.
I'll pass.
Okay, James passes. I have not been able to lay my... Alright, Tien's Prep, destroy the top. Woo! Black double team goes into my hand. Win, destroy the top of my life deck. Excellent, excellent. Physical block gets... Unfortunately, goes to discard pile. Okay, he's going to go ahead and weather that hit, destroy his 2, and then, of course, take the 4 life cards of damage. And with all this stuff hitting him, I don't get to do any critical. It's like not possible. Okay, he has to pass.
Yeah, I'll use Tin's.
Okay, use the Tin's Pride Beam.
This one says it destroyed. You may banish it to lower your opponent's anger 2 levels. I don't. And this was Black Protection.
Oh, Black Protection.
No,
Black Protection, of course, is going to get destroyed, and when that happens, I get to go draw a card. He's going to go and take the 4 life cards of damage. That would have been an amazing hit. And had any kind of capability makes him skip, of course, on the hit. It goes back over to me, and I got a handful of goodies.
If I could throw an attack at you,
So James, just remembering at this point that I am wide open for a knockout hit here.
Oh, I don't. I'm saying I really don't. Black Annihilation. Banish 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile. I don't even know what you have. You don't have 3 cards in the deck.
Oh gosh. So just James reminding that most of his deck's either banished or in the discard pile at this point, so it's been a couple of really good hits. Of course, there's all Black Annihilation's stipulation here.
I actually don't know. I feel out of practice.
Well, I tell you what, the instinct for a Tien deck comes and goes, so I really did not retain it from ages ago.
Backcrash? No, that's dumb. Unleash? No.
Yeah, I really need to just pick the 3 for banishing and get it over with.
I guess I could choose 3.
Let's choose Outrage. Outrage is not a bad one. Outrage is a good one.
Okay, looks like I got one of the giant stage doubling knockout hits. Getting eliminated, hopefully.
Yeah, it's the head.
Okay, there we go. And a Villainous Visage, which would be, to me, generally a good idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could choose to rejuvenate one of them, and then you really would have been dead, because it would have been 12, just base 12 right there, would have been 14, so 28.
Ooh, 28 power stages. Oh, a bunch of hooey. Oh, so much hooey.
I'll throw a, what is it, 4 life card energy attack at you?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, raise my anger 1 level. Eat.
So resolve that effect. I don't get to raise my anger because that isn't what this is. And James, unfortunately, is stuck with a single card in his hand, so I don't get the bonus for it being the last card. Okay, so he takes it all in 2 hits, or 2 cards rather.
I'm coming for you. I better hope you kill me.
James isn't wrong about this, you guys. I am in striking distance.
Blow up the top.
Oh, wow. I don't get any anger at this point because you remember targeting event with Black Perceptive only has the effect of raising your anger. I already have Wall Breaker on, can't do it.
Here you go.
Okay, so it's back to me.
I hit it up with nothing. I could have almost got you, but now I can't.
So apparently I'm acknowledging that I'm out of steam. Okay, that's going to go ahead and end that particular turn. And that combat ends. It goes back over to James. My guess is James is going to draw plenty of good stuff. Another Saiyan pregame. Of course.
Might be pregame in it.
Our long-running joke about pre-gaming it. Okay, he's going to go ahead and power up his ally.
Do I want to go?
No, you don't, James. You got 3 cards.
Well, if you're going to do it, then we need the appropriate music.
The question is, do you have a block?
So we put on our silly Ginyu Force Frieza Saga theme going on in the background. Pretty fun. We said if James is going to go in, he better have the right music.
I'm going to use my mastery first, though.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and draw and discard. He's got a few cards he could deal with. Like, for instance, Wall Breaker would do him no good because I'm already wearing one around my neck. Okay, Wall Breaker goes away. With the Mastery's effect, he gets to discard and draw, or draw and discard rather. And then he's going to go ahead and open up Saiyan pregame.
But I still rejuvenate. Because it says period, then rejuvenate.
Then I have to skip my first action.
You have to skip.
Okay, so I skipped my first action. Of course, it's a pregame. And the thing was, I actually, just for a second there, thought that went totally differently. I said, wait a minute, there isn't a situation where pregame and Oppressive are going to conflict. You're not going to get an overlap with them. Pregame goes off before you even have a chance to use the Mastery.
Oh, because it's not styled?
No. Because it's your next attack.
Oh.
So I want to throw this beast down that you made me hold all of last turn for 16 stages.
You boy, 16 stage Nappa's Energized Strike. Utterly unbelievable. So I'm going to take all those power stages apparently.
7,
Oh, gosh.
9, 10, 11.
Ooh, you guys, I took a monster hit there. I do not have another hit like that in me. This could end really bad. And a skip because it's their attacks.
Because of pregame.
Oh, yeah, pregame made me skip, not the mastery. That's why he threw out Endry Strike first, so that he would waste it. So the mastery would go off, and he gets his second skip. Ooh, if you guys think about his 10 stages as a base, 14 power stages total, and I do take the hit and die like a mangy dog. I was too self-destructive for too long, and didn't draw the right hand. Dead. Oh, wait, doing a quick recount. And now dead. Oh, dead. Okay, you guys, remember that as long as you live, if you let Nappa set up like that, you're as good as dead.